Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today we're going to give you guys a little bit of a different top 10 list. It will be top 10 lore cards, and I'm mostly talking about the flavor text, the flavorful level of the cards from Rastakhan. It's an aspect of the game that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. If they ever do, it's on when the cards first show up in the collection manager and people just look at them and say, oh, here's a funny one, here's a funny one. I thought today we'd highlight some hidden part of Hearthstone that most people have absolutely no idea about, and some of these are actually pretty cool and, kind of poke fun at different memes and, some other games in some aspects. It's pretty cool stuff. So I got my top 10 list. I went through all of the Rastakhan cards to get the coolest one for you guys, at least in my opinion. So here we go. Number 10 is Master's Call. Hello? Yes, this is Huffer. Of course, kind of making fun at the fact that, it's probably the best beast you want to get on a regular basis. It is a beast you can get, maybe optimistically so, or maybe didn't really care with the flavor text that it's not too practical to get Huffers out through the random effects and then get the dire copies back into your deck and then, get those through Master's Call, then get Huffer to pick up the call. Pretty cool though, pretty nice, right? Pretty good. And we have Spirit of the Bat. And in this card, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a lesson on how to translate the Nas. Right? So there's a lot of Nas there, but it's all about the commas. All right? So we see sets of 4 Nas, and then we got the commas. So here's the way I interpret this, basically. So we have na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na. Because it's getting bigger and bigger stats. All right, it's kind of funny. All right, it's kind of cool. Sure. The idea is it kind of builds up a minion in your hand. Well, we know the ending. It's kind of disappointing because not only does this card suck, but typically the really big minions get either ignored or immediately vanquished. But nonetheless, pretty cool stuff. Number 8, Amani Warbear. I used to farm for hours. Now they just come in packs? So this is kind of a note to the World of Warcraft that I played, and in Zul'Aman, you'd basically do your timed run in order to get an Amani Warbear mount, and it wasn't that difficult, but it was pretty difficult. You didn't have to be in the best guild in the world to get, Amani bear mounts, but you needed some pretty solid players playing their A game with some pretty solid gear, working together to get those mounts. And it's kind of cool to see Hearthstone tied in constantly through things that happen in World of Warcraft. At least for me, as an old school World of Warcraft player, just feels good, and to see messages like these kind of enhances the experience. Number 7, we have Mass Hysteria. So Mass Hysteria kind of pokes fun at what happens on Black Fridays, particularly here in America. Black Friday gets worse every year. Of course it does. Mass Hysteria is basically like going to Walmart on Black Friday and getting killed for the deals. And you know how Mass Hysteria works. Sometimes you get lucky and you get the deals and you get out just fine, but sometimes it can be quite perilous, as we know. Number 6, we have Azul Jin. So Azul Jin, you guys know, is a pretty fun card on its own right. He is the end boss of the Zul'Aman instance to get those war bearers. Well, he's also got a pretty cool flavor text here. It is, if you can dodge an axe, you can dodge a ball. And it kind of pays homage to the movie Dodgeball. It was, one of my favorite movies as a kid. It's just kind of one of those movies that you see to have fun, have a laugh, get some kicks. And in that movie, some old dude starts throwing crap, including wrenches. I think he ends up saying, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Well, you watch the movie, but you can kind of have, some idea of how that went. Number 5, Immortal Prelate. She protect, she attack, but most importantly, she come back. So, first of all, I thought it was a dude, but anyway, I think most of the cards are dudes. 2 cost, 1/3 guy that comes back bigger and bigger the more you buff him, unless he gets silenced. But yes, it does do that. Primarily protects, get those spike ridges, but she can attack. most importantly, you get them again and again. So it's pretty fun. I've made a deck around this card. I love it. It's just themed around the meme, and just very well so. Number 4, Mark of the Lowa New Druid card. Yes, Mark. The mightiest Lowa is Mark of the Lowa. Right? Man, explaining jokes does kind of kill him. That's fine. All right, we'll go to the next one. But this is pretty cool, right? Yeah, sure. Okay. The Undertaker. First death rattle, draw a card. Second, draw 2 cards. Third, throw mankind off a steel cage and plummet 16 feet through an announcer's table. Kind of, talking about I don't know, the different wrestling federations or whatever they are. But yeah, the Undertaker. Doing some interesting things to mankind in a pretty famous match that even I, as not really much of a wrestling fan whatsoever, ended up witnessing as a kid. I feel like Hearthstone is a game that's just designed for people generally of my age group. People who kind of went through the 90s, went through the double O's, and experienced all the cool things before all the safety concerns kind of hit them, right? Like super soakers, all that kind of shit. Man, those are the days. Number 2, it's a bit of a complicated one. It is Wartbringer, but it's a part 1 and a part 2. So number 2, Wartbringer side, does she cause them with magic or just like with a bucket she brings with her? It's kind of perplexing, isn't it? Let's see. It's a Wartbringer. She brings the warts. All right, just damage with the warts that she brings. All right. So that's what she's doing there. It's a 1 cost 2/1. You've probably never seen this card before. Even in Arena, you hardly ever see this card. But it's there. It's there. But how does the Wartbringer bring the warts? Right. It doesn't seem like you can just bring warts and like infect someone with them. Like is it like magical, or it's like, what? How does that work? And it's answered in a different card's flavor text, and that card is Reign of Toads. Oh, that's how she brings the warts. The Reign of Toads, of course. It's kind of interesting, the Reign of Toads thematically, it's raining a lot more toads than just 3, and they don't really inflict damage themselves, because, it's not like a spell that does damage, but even then, how would you take damage from warts? I don't know, forget it, all right, whatever. That's how it happens, okay? The Wartbringer, it brings the warts through the Reign of Toads, all right? We solved it. We solved this great mystery of Hearthstone today in this YouTube. Congratulations that you're part of this. All right. Number 1, most flavorful Rastakhan card is Hysteria the Bat. Repel's effect wore off. Now it's in all caps. And I'll give you guys a second to maybe remember where that's from, because I'm sure most of you guys, it kind of rings a bell, right? It's like, well, I've heard that. I've heard that phrase before, right? All right, so Hysteria the Bat is a really interesting card, kind of on its own. It swarms the board, tons and tons of bats, getting closer. So get tons of bats. They're mostly pretty disappointing. You don't really want to deal with any one of them. It's just kind of like a meme thing. It's just kind of there. It's like one of the worst Lowas ever. Doesn't really work with the hand buffing, and most importantly is especially disappointing with evolution mechanics, as you may have seen in a fairly recent other video on this channel. Did you get it yet? Repel's effect wore off. It's from Pokemon. Because like Pokemon, you'd get the repel and you'd activate it, and I don't know how many, it's like, a couple hundred steps, you wouldn't run into absolute trash things. And this actually grew into a meme that, whenever you have like something getting swarmed by something else, you kind of say Repel's effect wore off in caps, as it happens here. And Hysteria the Bat fits the profile perfectly fine, because Hysteria the Bat is an absolute garbage card, and most of the time it's just swarming with 1/1s that you'd rather not have to deal with. So very well done. Blizzard is a company that doesn't really reach out outside of its own IPs. So to kind of see the flavor text and to see that exception, I know some of you guys might just see these and say, that's kind of whatever. But as someone who's grown up with Blizzard games through and through, I know how they run things. I see how they do things. And this is kind of a bit of a fun exception. So I thought I'd share. Maybe it means something to you guys. Certainly had some fun going through them, and I hope you've enjoyed my top 10 list.